Hello friends, welcome to Friend of Health. So today in this video I'll be dealing with 4 questions from AIAPGET 2019 obstetric part. So by this video we are finishing obstetric and gynecology part from AIAPGET 2019. So from next video onwards we'll deal with another subject from AIAPGET 2019 question paper. So let's discuss next question. A 45-year-old woman presented with menorrhagia and dysmenorrhea. Examination revealed an enlarged uterus to about 12-week size, which was soft and tender. The possible diagnosis is: option A is PID, option B is adenomyosis, option C is endometriosis, option D is uterine fibroid. Now let's discuss some important or key points regarding these 4 options. So option A is PID. So what is PID? PID is pelvic inflammatory disease. These are group of disorders that affect uterus, then fallopian tubule, then our ovary and cervix. So what are the causes of PID? PID is mainly caused by chlamydia and gonorrhea. There are many types of causes, but these 2 causes are important. So you can get questions regarding PID, and there are some specific features and specific type of discharges in different causative agents. So please go through it. So the second option is adenomyosis. Adenomyosis is nothing but it is a condition in which the inner layer of uterus that penetrates through the uterine wall. So it is a type of endometriosis. How to differentiate adenomyosis and endometriosis? Endometriosis is nothing but islands of endometrium that can be seen in other organs other than our uterine cavity, or any other organs we can find the endometrial islands. Now what is this endometrium? Yes, endometrium is the innermost layer of uterus. So uterus is composed of 3 layers. Innermost layer is endometrium, middle layer is myometrium, outer layer is perimetrium. So this myometrium is also known as living ligature of uterus. Myometrium is also known as living ligature of uterus. Why it is known as living ligature of uterus? Because this myometrium is composed of crisscross fibers, which helps in prevention of bleeding during the time of involution. So that's why it acts as a living ligature. So you can expect one question from this. This is one of the repeated questions. So myometrium is also known as living ligature of uterus. Now let's discuss some points that differentiate adenomyosis from endometriosis. Adenomyosis are mostly asymptomatic in parous women whose age is more than 40 years. Okay, so it is asymptomatic in women whose age is 40 plus, and its symptoms are dysmenorrhea, pelvic discomfort, then they may present with menorrhagia, or some patients even present with metrorrhagia, and also the uterus will be tender and enlarged, mostly seen in women whose age are 40 plus. Now, so how to summarize adenomyosis? This is painful asymmetrical enlargement of uterus. Then we can suspect adenomyosis. Now what are the points in endometriosis? Endometriosis is again divided into internal endometriosis and external endometriosis. So this internal endometriosis is otherwise known as adenomyosis. That means the inner layer endometrium penetrates the uterine cavity. So the second type is external endometriosis. So the commonest site of endometriosis is ovary. Okay, this is one of the repeated question. And endometriosis is rarely seen in Negroes. Rarely seen in Negroes. Now let's see some more points that are related to endometriosis. So endometriosis is, this term is discovered by Carl von Roentgens, There are some important theories that are related to the etiology of endometriosis. First one is Sampson theory, and the second one is Mayer theory. Third one is Halben's theory. So what is the Sampson theory? It is nothing but retrograde menstruation leading to implantation of this endometrial tissue. Second one is Mayer theory. Mayer gives here is metaplasia of implanted endometrium into peritoneum. So here metaplasia of endometrium is implanted into peritoneum. Next comes Halben's theory, that means lymphatic dissemination. Let's see some important findings that we can see in laparoscopy in case of endometriosis. First one is powder burn. Powder burn, puckered black spots. Puckered black spots. And the second thing is, so powder burn, puckered black spots. Second thing is red vascular bluish blackish cyst. Red vascular or bluish vascular cyst. Then comes third one is chocolate cyst. These are some important things that you can find in laparoscopy in case of endometriosis. Fourth option is uterine fibroid. Let's discuss some important points that are related to uterine fibroid. Uterine fibroid is an extremely benign growth. It is also known as myoma. The symptoms are mostly menstrual disturbance including menorrhagia, metrorrhagia, polymenorrhagia, etc. Dysmenorrhea will be there, abdominal pain will be there, lump will be there. They also present with pain and also pressure symptoms. Some patients may even present with vaginal discharge and in complicated cases they may end up with infertility. Now what are the complications of fibroid uterus? There are certain complications that we may find in fibroid. They are red degeneration. This is most common during pregnancy. There was a question from this part. This red degeneration is most commonly during men, mainly during second trimester of pregnancy. Then comes sarcoma. Sarcoma is very rare. Then torsion. Then comes calcification. What is calcification? These are post-menopausal large fibroids. Then comes capsular hemorrhage. Now what are the types of fibroid? We have intramural fibroid, submucous fibroid and subserous fibroid. Intramural fibroids are most commonly seen fibroid. So that's it about fibroid. Here I'll give you one question that came from fibroid for previous examination. Red degeneration most commonly occurs during first trimester, first option. Second option is second trimester. Third option is third trimester. Fourth option is puerperium. So the answer is second trimester. So red degeneration is most commonly seen in fibroid as a complication. Now let's go back to the question again. So the question is like a 45-year-old woman present with menorrhagia and dysmenorrhea revealed with enlarged uterus about 12 week size, which is soft and tender. So what is the possible answer? Yes, the answer is adenomyosis as we discussed earlier. So there is enlarged uterus, dysmenorrhea is there, and lady is above 40 years. Now moving to the next question. Oral contraceptives give protection against all of the following except option A is rheumatic arthritis, B is endometrial cancer, C is hepatic adenoma, and D is benign breast disease. Now let's discuss a gist of things that are important in case of contraception. Now these are the methods of contraception. The first one is natural method, second one is barrier contraceptives, third one is intrauterine contraceptive device, that is IUCDs. Fourth one is suppression of spermatogenesis. Fifth one is suppression of ovulation with hormones. Sixth one is contraceptive agents. Then comes immunological methods, and eighth one is surgical sterilization. Now from this part I have picked some questions that had come for previous examination. So the Pearl Index. Pearl Index is an important topic that usually come for our competitive examination. Pearl Index is nothing but failure rate of any contraceptive method described in terms of pregnancy rate per 100 woman years. So Pearl Index is a failure rate of contraceptive described in woman years failure rate of contraception is described in terms of pregnancy rate. Failure rate of contraceptive described in terms of pregnancy rate per 100 women years. So keep a note on this. Next thing which is related to contraception is safe period, calendar method and billing method. So calendar method has got one more name, is known as Nose-Ogino method. Calendar method is also known as Nose-Ogino method. So that's it regarding contraception. Now coming to the question is related to oral contraceptives. So here is some important points regarding OCP. What are the advantages of OCP? So it reduces incidence of benign breast tumor, uterine or ovarian cancer, PID, ectopic gestation, menorrhagia and dysmenorrhea. So these are the advantages. Prevent benign breast tumor, ectopic pregnancy, menorrhagia, dysmenorrhea, then pelvic inflammatory disease, uterine or ovarian cancer. Now what are the disadvantages of OCPs? OCP cause Candida vaginitis, cervical dysplasia, pituitary adenoma, thromboembolism, diabetic mellitus may become worse. So these are the disadvantages of OCP. Now moving to the question back again. Question is regarding OCP. So what is the answer? Answer is hepatic adenoma. Now coming to the final question from our OBG. Breech with extended leg is also known as. Options are flexed breech, frank breech, foot-link presentation and knee presentation. Now coming to the types of breech or the variation of breech which we find in a baby are complete breech or flexed breech. Here the baby's leg will be flexed at the knee and the hip. So baby's leg appears to be flexed. So that is called as flexed breech. Next come incomplete breech. Incomplete breech, the baby will be delivered with one of its foot-link or the feet. Next comes the frank breech. In that the baby's leg will be extended at his hip and the knee. So coming back to the question, breech with extended leg is also known as, yes, answer is frank breech. So here I am summarizing obstetrics and gynecology part. So let's discuss next subject from AIAPGT 2019. Thank you all.